And welcome back to Jack Ingram Field. There's one down as we get started with Game 2 of our doubleheader. We apologize coming in an out late into the first inning. Pfeiffer and Mary Baldwin, they took the first game 9-0. 3 games in a row that Pfeiffer has not allowed a single run. And they've all come on this field. A sweep yesterday of Brevard and a 9-0 win yesterday. And in the circle for the Pfeiffer Falcons is Kennedy Lester. A good second pitch to Jordan Miller. Cody Oscar Taylor grounded out. One away for the Pfeiffer Falcons. Ken Lewis here with you on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network. And the next pitch misses down and away. Kennedy Lester yesterday, a one-hitter. Through 4 innings. Again, Pfeiffer won the second game against Brevard by mercy rule in 5. Good pitch, outer edge, strike 3. And the Pfeiffer dugout is amped up for Kennedy Lester. And a swing and a miss. Blows it right past Sam Bird, the second baseman. Sam Bird, in the first game for Mary Baldwin, did have one of those few hits for the Fighting Squirrels. And it was a single in her first plate appearance in that game. And the next pitch on the outer edge for a called strike, 1-2. And misses high and away, 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And how about Kennedy Lester getting it rolling for the Pfeiffer Falcons with some Ks to start the game here at the top half of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first, 3 up and 3 down for the Fighting Squirrels. We'll be right back on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network. We come back to you on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network at GoFalconsports.com with Pfeiffer at the plate for the first time here in game number 2. And the Falcons 3 up, 3 down. Kennedy Lester off to a hot start with some strikeouts in the top half of the first inning. And leading off is Veda Blue Sherrill, the shortstop for the Pfeiffer Falcons, who opens up at the plate. Pitcher here in game number 2 for Mary Baldwin is Kate Dickinson, senior from Pasadena, Maryland. 2 balls, 1 strike. Dickinson with the windup, kicks and fires. Veda Blue Sherrill sends it back up the middle, and it gets down in front of the center fielder, Patty Pleasance. That's a leadoff single for the Pfeiffer Falcons. And the left fielder, Stephanie Fortner, will be up next, who, with 2 for 3 in the first game, a double, a grand slam in the second inning, made it 5-0. It is senior day for the Pfeiffer Falcons. Veda Blue is going to steal second. Count is 1 ball, no strikes on Steph Fortner. Veda Blue Sherrill in scoring position. Next pitch misses low in the dirt. This one sneaks through the infield, and Veda Blue is going to come in to score for the Pfeiffer Falcons. And the score is 1-0 for Pfeiffer as Veda Blue Sherrill comes in to score. Steph Fortner at the plate, getting the count is 1-2. Veda Blue Sherrill steals second. She steals third, and a throw that sneaks down the line, gets into the outfield. She comes in to score, and there's Steph Fortner with the blast out into to left field. Back-to-back hits for the Pfeiffer Falcons. Kendall Lewis here with you on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network and GoFalconsSports.com. Here comes Mackenzie Pennell, the second baseman. And throw down to second is not in time as Fortner is going to steal a base. That is 4 stolen bases in the first 2 batters for the Pfeiffer Falcons. Talked about how good of a hitting team Pfeiffer is. This one popped up in the infield. Catch is made by Montana Welcher, the shortstop. Mary Baldwin records their first out here in the bottom half of the first. So Pennell pops it up in the infield. And that'll bring up Kiana Millsaps, who had an incredible game there in game number 1. Swings to the first pitch. This one carrying, and it's backed out into left field and dropped by Blair Grice. So an error on the left fielder. And Kiana Millsaps is aboard. This is not the start that Mary Baldwin wanted. Here's the center fielder, Chandler Walker. One of those seniors that was honored for the Pfeiffer Falcons. This is a ground ball, sneaks through the gap. Another base knock. Fortner's rounding third. She'll come in to score. She'll come in to score. That's an RBI single for Walker. How about this start for Pfeiffer? They won the first game by mercy rule, but it took them to the bottom half of the second inning with 2 outs before they really got going. And completely opposite here. This one lifted, swung on, carrying back And it's dropped out in right field. That is Tyler Villa. 2 drops in the outfield for Mary Baldwin. And the bases are loaded for Pfeiffer. Amanda Sports was the one to hit that out into right field. Now the count is 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch from Katie Dickinson. This one hit right back up the middle. That's a base knock. Millsaps to score. Walker slides in at home. She's safe. So a 2-run single for Bailey Sherrill. Four nothing Pfeiffer. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Kate Dickinson, the senior, is in the circle from Pasadena, Maryland. This one's foul tipped back. Pfeiffer showing why they're one of the better hitting teams, not only in the conference, but in the country here in this first inning. This is Abigail Peck who connects on this one. It's popped up out into left field. Catch is made. On the move by Blair Grice, which makes it 2 outs. So Abigail Peck flies out to left field. And Carson Watkins, the third baseman, is at the plate now. Again, we could see both of these games end in mercy rule today. Count squared up, 1 ball and a strike. Dickinson wind up, delivers again, up high, but it's swung on and missed by Watkins. Pfeiffer's in those white unis, black and white stripes. Mary Baldwin in the gray charcoal pants with alternate colors, gold letters on the front. They've got the black sleeves. And that one's in there, called strike 3. So fans Carson Watkins, Dickinson picks up her first strikeout of the game. And that will complete the first inning, but not before Pfeiffer scores 4 runs on 4 hits. There were 2 errors by the Fighting Squirrels there in the first. Pfeiffer leaves a handful of runners on base as well. We'll be right back. Top of the second on the other side of the break right here on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network. Three batters faced in the top of the first for Kennedy Lester, 3 strikeouts. And this is a ground ball hit down the line at third. Watkins bobbles it, makes the throw, not in time. And they're going to call that a foul ball. So Watkins kind of bobbled it. I know she's glad to have that one back a little bit. And again, in the order, this is Allie Basconin for Mary Baldwin, Montana Welcher, and Courtney Beck. Those are the 3 that are due up, 4, 5, and 6. 3 Ks for Kennedy Lester in the top half of the first inning. And she tossed a 1-hitter through 4 yesterday. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's another. What an incredible start. Gets Basconin swinging. Montana Welcher, the shortstop, is up next. Here's Lester. First pitch. In there, called to strike. Kennedy Lester is on her game, to say the least, here in the second game of this doubleheader this afternoon. A 1, it's up high. We're all square at 1 apiece. And here's a bouncer in the dirt, makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Kennedy Lester started her collegiate career at Division I Delaware. Transferred to play at Pfeiffer when they were Division II in Conference Carolinas. And this one poked through the infield. Amanda Sports trying to make the play. It's not in time. They'll rule out a base hit single. So 4 strikeouts in a row before the first base hit of the game for Mary Baldwin. And it comes from the shortstop, Montana Welcher. And the first pitch to Kate Dickinson is upstairs for a ball. So Kate Dickinson pitching this second game for the Fighting Squirrels. And again, it's a tough task on the other side when you got to go against this Pfeiffer offense. Just how quickly they get on base. Veda Blue Sherrill hitting .543 this year. And a called strike 1, 2-1. Lester again. This is fouled back to the netting. Got Patty Pleasance on deck. The next pitch is down and away. Mary Baldwin, they did rack up a few hits in the first game, but it wasn't enough. They scored 1 run in the the top of the 5th inning, right before the game ended. And this one grounded down the right side. Pfeiffer still ended it, though, 9-1 in 5. It's amazing how many times Pfeiffer has won in 5 innings this year. As you look at their schedule, games have ended and even had one end in 6. Ground ball, this is hit to first. Sherrill will glove it and step back on the bag. And there's 2 outs for the Pfeiffer Falcons. Smart play by Pennell, though, to cover first in case Sherrill got pulled off the bag far enough she needed to make a toss. It did advance Montana Welcher down to second. 4-0 start for Pfeiffer. Here's the pitch. Downstairs called ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Good looking pitch from Lester as she finds the zone. And Kate Dickinson is the pitcher on the other side for Mary Baldwin. Throw through the infield. Pfeiffer trying to sneak one through. Again, you'll see that at several different times of the game where the catcher, Abigail Peck or Sarah Brown, whoever's the starter for that day, will throw it through the infield, throw it past Kennedy Lester or past Kiana Millsaps. And either Veda Blue Sherrill or Mackenzie Pennell will scoop it up and put the tag. It's more so to try and catch the runner off guard. But it's worked out several times this year for Pfeiffer as Monty Sherrill is out talking with the 2 umpires. And Monty Sherrill still talking with the umpire at the plate. Again, he's intense. He's a guy that's got over 900 wins when you add up his high school coaching career and now his college coaching career. 10 state titles at Alexander Central High School. Two one from Lester. Here's the fire. And this one's fouled back to the screen. And Lester misses down low. 3-2. Full count for Kennedy Lester. This one connected, lifted, right field. Amanda Sports is going to make the grab for out number 3. And that will complete the top half of the second inning. Pfeiffer on top 4-0. We'll be right back on the Pfeiffer Falcon Sports Network. We come back for the bottom half of the second inning here on the Fight for Falcon Sports Network. And a rip that gets up against the wall to start this inning. Veda Blue Cheryl with a leadoff double. So Veda Blue Cheryl leads off the game for the Fight for Falcons as their leadoff hitter, and then they bat their entire order in the first inning, and she starts it off with a double. Is now 2 for 2 on this second game. And in the first game, Veda Blue Cheryl was walked. She popped out into right field. There she is stealing third. This Mary Baldwin team, again, they've only got one win. They're 1-18. Pfeiffer is now 23-2. You knew it was going to be a tough task today. And there's an RBI single for Stephanie Fortner. Scores another run, 5-0 for the Pfeiffer Falcons. And Mackenzie Pennell, who popped up in the infield, is back at the plate. Tell this story. Good pitch down the middle. Called strike one, and Fortner is down to second safely. Mackenzie Pennell told in the first game she graduated high school early, had an unbelievable freshman campaign, and should have been playing her senior year of high school. Not quite having the season that she had last year, this year, but still playing extremely well. You look at her numbers, she's hitting close to 400. In 76 at-bats, she's got a total of 30 hits. Only struck out twice as she hits it through the infield. She's going to round first on the throw, and takes second base. And you got two runners in scoring position with nobody out. Kiana Millsaps at the plate. So a single for Pennell, but she advanced to second on the throw. Kate Dickinson will look in. Kicks and fires. Catcher Cody Oscar Taylor. Same catcher for 2 games in a row for the Fighting Squirrels. Counts 1-0. Blows it past Millsaps. This is a Mary Baldwin team. Mentioned they're an all-girls school from Staunton, Virginia. Ground ball through the left side. That's another RBI single. As it scores Steph Fortner from third, 6-0 here in the bottom half of the second inning. Pfeiffer's supposed to be scheduled with, as this one's hit deep, gets down at the warning track up against the wall from Walker. Scores Pennell. Millsaps advances to third. An RBI double, and the hits just continue to roll here at the Village of Meisenheimer for the Pfeiffer Falcons. And Amanda Sports is at the plate. She's a transfer from King University couple years ago, that was a Division II school that was in Pfeiffer's conference. Transferred to come back and play for her old high school coach, Bonnie Sherrill, last year. But due to transfer rules, was not released and ended up having to sit out. So this is her senior season. Got a handful of Pfeiffer players from Taylorsville. That's where Monty Sherrill came from. Good pitch on the outer half for strike two. Dickinson against Sports. (7-0) Pfeiffer here in the bottom half of the second. And Sports connects, lifts it shallow center. Second baseman is going to make the grab. That is Sam Bird. That's the first out of the second inning for Mary Baldwin. Here's Bailey Sherrill, the first baseman. Dickinson misses upstairs for ball one. Next pitch is outside from Dickinson. Fighting Squirrels went with a freshman in game one, Courtney Back. Game two, it's been Kate Dickinson, the senior. Next pitch is down low. This is ball three. She's got to come to the plate here. 3-0 fastball is just inside, so she will load the bases up. You got Abby Peck, nursing student here at Pfeiffer, just got a job at Duke University Hospital. An incredible career for her, but it's going to have a good future outside of softball as well when she graduates here in just a couple months. We'll get to our senior class here in just momentarily. This is senior day. Always a special time on the campus of Pfeiffer University. And they moved these up a day in advance. Again, we were supposed to play these games tomorrow, but you got a couple things that were lurking. One was the weather. Would they be able to get this game in tomorrow? And the other was Mary Baldwin's tennis team is on campus as well, so why not travel together? Two balls, one strike. And the pitch misses down low in the dirt from Dickinson, 3-1. Kate Dickinson has thrown the bulk of the innings, 44 exactly coming in to this second game of the series. This one's popped up, shallow, left field. Grab is made on the move by Montana Welcher. That makes two outs here in the second inning. So we got Carrie Westerbeek that's going to pinch hit for Carson Watkins in the 9th spot of the Pfeiffer order. Talked about it in the first game. You got to like Mary Baldwin's mascot, the Fighting Squirrels. One of the more unique in college athletics. It's a couple different mascots, especially in Division III level. Pfeiffer played Columbia from South Carolina in basketball, women's basketball. They were the Koalas. So there's some good mascots, especially when you get to these small colleges. Division III's got plenty. Carrie Westerbeek looks at the next pitch. This is inside edge for called strike one. We're even up at 1 ball and a strike. Westerbeek swings. Hard hit ground ball up the middle out into center field. Scores 1, maybe 2 as Walker comes in. Tack on a couple more. Pfeiffer's on top 9-0. Two RBI single for Carrie Westerbeek. And we're back to the top of the Falcon order. Pinch runner for Pfeiffer is going to be Tiffany Bartholomew for Carrie Westerbeek. Veda Blue, who hits over 500. Incredible on the season. And again, really, a lot of pitchers that don't want to pitch to her anymore. They're getting to where she was walked in that first game. Swings, connects. This one's flying out to center field. And the catch is made on the move by Patty Pleasance. So the second inning is finally complete. Pfeiffer tacks on another 5 runs. And they bat through their order for the second inning in a row. The hits continue to roll. Exactly 5 in that inning right there for the Pfeiffer Falcons as they post 5 runs. We'll be right back with more Pfeiffer softball on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network and the Pfeiffer Athletics YouTube page. We come back for the top half of the third inning. Pfeiffer has batted through their order the first and second innings. And they pick up 5 hits, 5 runs there in the second inning as Mary Baldwin will need to try and get some runs on the board here as this one looking as if it could be mercy ruled again In Game 2, Pfeiffer does that to so many people this year. Yesterday, the second game was won in 5 innings. Kennedy Lester has been spectacular in the circle for Pfeiffer here in Game 2. And misses low on the first. Throw fastball in there, called strike one. Pfeiffer three-game series against William Baseball. That's scheduled for tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Now, weather is calling for rain tomorrow in the forecast here in the village of Meisenheimer, so that game may not get in. We were going to be broadcasting that game on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network tomorrow, and we will have to play that by ear because scheduled start time for the afternoon, but again, it's raining in the forecast all afternoon, really, tomorrow and into the evening. So it could be tough to play that game here at Pfeiffer tomorrow. That's why the softball went ahead and moved it ahead. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout. That's 5 for Kennedy Lester. Pfeiffer, again, they have been unbelievable defensively the last 2 days. Good pitch, called strike one. Paige Love is at second base now, Pfeiffer. Couple changes to the defensive alignment. Same pitch, just a little outside that time. Right-handed hitting. Talia Villa. And this one swung on and missed as well. Pfeiffer looking for 24 wins. Last year, 46-8 on the Division II level. Now, the only thing about Division III that those of you out there listening might have noticed is the schedule's a little bit different in a sense that last year they went to the NCAA tournament, so played a total of 54 games. And they've got 12 left after today on their schedule. So not going to play quite as many games as they did from a year ago. Again, one of the differences in Division II and Division III, you don't play as long of a season. Full count 3-2. This one's hit up against the screen. But Pfeiffer will have a chance to play in the ECAC tournament. And I think at 23-2, they've got to be a prime candidate to claim one of the top seeds, especially on the softball side of things. Baseball has a good shot as well. This one drops out in shallow center, and that's a base hit for Villa. We talk about Pfeiffer, how good they are. Look at their infield. Look at their infield. It's not in there now. You've got Paige Love, who's at second. This one chopped, grounded to short. Veda Blue flips it to second, over to first. Throw not in time. Cody Oscar Taylor is safe. But the Ferrum Panthers will be in the village of Meisenheimer on Sunday. That's also another USA South opponent. Lester misses high and away. Back to the top of the Fighting Squirrels order. And this one's foul tipped. Cody Oscar Taylor
the
single for Mary Baldwin. Jordan Miller's at the plate now. She's the third baseman. She's played the same spot in 2 games. It's not really a big difference in Mary Baldwin's order from game 1 to game 2. Pfeiffer, not a huge difference as well. They've kept the order the same, but we've seen Monty Sherrill this year. He's shifted 1 through 9 around a little bit, especially toward the bottom. His top 4 or 5 per se in the order has pretty much stayed exactly where it's at. When you have the likes of Cheryl Mackenzie Pennell, Chandler Walker. You don't have to move it around as much. And this one hit in the gap in right center. Cody Oscar Taylor rounds second and advances to third. So back-to-back hits for the Fighting Squirrels. Sam Bird that popped up right field. First time at the plate is back up now. Lester delivers a low pitch for ball 1. Well, Pfeiffer, last year you had Kiana Millsap, Kennedy Lester, Sidney Poole. You had Sidney Poole. And Sidney Poole graduated. This was fouled down the third base line. And the pitching was something that Pfeiffer knew they were going to have to have that third extra depth, but he's had some young players that have gotten some experience. Again, we saw Kendall Wallace close it out. Between Millsaps and Lester, though, they've carried the load just fine. 1-1. And it's fouled off again down the left side. Lester again, high and away. And the count will be squared up at 2-2. Good pitch, outer edge for strike 3. Another strikeout for Kennedy Lester. And that retires the top half of the third. So Pfeiffer will come back again when we return on the Pfeiffer Falcon Sports Network. Well, we come back on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network, and Go Falcons Sports.com. Kendall Lewis here with you. Pfeiffer. Taking care of the Fighting Squirrels so far in both games this afternoon. They won the first 9-1. We're 9-0 now. 9-0 now. Only one run's been given up on this field by a Pfeiffer opponent the last 2 days, and that is in game one, where the Fighting Squirrels scored that lone run in the top of the 5th inning. They were unable to get their second run. They did have runners on second and third. That would have extended the game a little bit further for the Fighting Squirrels. But we're at 1-1 now. Kate Dickinson in the circle, and this one's popped up in foul territory. The catch is made by the second baseman, Sam Bird, who sprints over. And catches it in foul territory. And that will sit down Stephanie Fortner. You got Mackenzie Pennell at the plate now. Dickinson with the windup. She'll step and fire. And it's called a strike. Pennell with square stance at the plate. She hits right-handed. Started at third base the majority of her career. Hits this one deep out in right field. Talia Villa makes the catch. 2 down for the Fighting Squirrels. Kiana Millsaps, plenty of power. Takes a look at the first pitch. It was in the dirt from Dickinson. Millsaps is just one of the more all-around, versatile type players on this Pfeiffer team. Last year, had a great season at the plate and in the circle, as you well know, but she can also play first base. And Bailey Sherrill did not play last year for Pfeiffer because she had an internship in Washington, D.C. So Kiana Millsaps, there was a lot of games where she was over at first base. And this year, you've got Bailey Sherrill that's been reinserted in that spot. Good pitch on the outer edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. And we were going back to Mackenzie Pennell, who just flew out into right field. Started her career third base. Played all last year as a freshman at third. This one's popped up. And played the majority of this season at third base. But Casey Rowden is out right now for Pfeiffer, who is the starting second baseman. And head coach Monty Sherrill has moved Mackenzie Pennell over to second. She can play a little bit of everywhere. And Dickinson misses it upstairs. 3-2. Pfeiffer, they played 4 doubleheader series over spring break a week and a half ago. Millsaps connects. This one hanging fair, and it just draws foul. Oh, we've got a nice little group of fans and parents that are sitting over that left field wall at the 195 mark, and I think they were excited. Landed on top of the visiting batting cages here at Jack Ingram Field. Looked good from where we're at. We're in center field. Our press box that was built last year. Marlon McCaughlin, one of the assistants for Pfeiffer, built this whole entire press box on his own. Millsaps takes ball 4 up high, so she'll head down. Chandler Walker, the center fielder, who's got 2 RBI in this game. An RBI single and an RBI double. She is now over 180 in her career. Broke the hits record yesterday afternoon in the second game. Ground ball hit to the shortstop did it. And it's incredible when you break a hits record at any program, especially as long as Pfeiffer has had a softball team, as long as they've been around. But especially on a team that was 46-8 last year, and she connects on this one, hits it deep, left field drawing, but it hangs on the chalk, and the catch is made by Blair Grice. So that will finish out the third inning. No runs scored by Pfeiffer there. 9-0. We'll be back on Pfeiffer Falcon Sports Network. A foul ball as we come back here in the top of the fourth inning. Mary Baldwin Fighting Squirrels and the Pfeiffer Falcons. Kennedy Lester's went the complete way for Pfeiffer, and she has had an unbelievable second game. Tallied up a total of 6 strikeouts. I'm cutting her short one. No walks. Again, we're just through 3 innings pitched. And she fans another, make it 7. I think we need to get some hang-down poster boards that have K on them for this press box. That is 7. Start keeping count out here in center field because Kennedy Lester is in her groove here in game number 2. Montana Welcher, the shortstop, takes a cut, fouls it back on Indy Lefko Field. Again, that is the soccer lacrosse fields. You got to be looking alive if there's a couple Pfeiffer lacrosse players out and soccer players out kicking it around on that field now, and you got to be paying attention because we have seen a ton of foul balls hit that way today. Now this one's grounded through the infields. Sneaks out into left fields. And there's a base knock pops up out into left fields. And Stephanie Fortner heads in to make the grab. My apologies there. There's 2 outs for Pfeiffer. And Kennedy Lester misses to the outside on the first pitch to Kate Dickinson. This is the pitcher. So you got pitcher on pitcher. And a good fastball in there, cold strike. Pfeiffer, they returned so much from last year's team, and although they're going to lose a good little bit, especially their offense this year, they're going to return a lot next year. Ground ball, backhanded stop by Bailey Sherrill, and she steps on the bag. And that completes the top half of the fourth. Pfeiffer's going to come to bat when we return, and they are well on their way of ending this one in 5 innings as well. We come back for the bottom half of the fourth inning. Pfeiffer trying to extend their 9-0 lead a little bit further. Ken Lewis here with you. We're glad you're joining us on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network. This one fouled off the top of the dugout. Mary Baldwin, or they did get a run on Pfeiffer in that first game, but really nothing going since. Got a couple hits today, but it's been tough. They're going against Kennedy Lester, who has struck out 7 batters in this game. They've got 3 hits here in game number 2. Pfeiffer with 10. And Kate Dickinson has gone the complete distance for the Fighting Squirrels. Getting it from Staunton, Virginia. Pretty good little ride in the conference. Ground ball hits a Miller, and she gloves it and goes across the diamond for the easy 5-3 put out. Now here's Bailey Sherrill. Takes this one deep. It's back all the way at the warning track, and the catch is made. That one looked like it was going to carry. Like it was going to carry. Just died out of the air. Bailey, deep shot out into left fields. And Blair Grice was there. Here's Abby Peck. Here's Abby Peck. She's from New York. She's got two players on this Pfeiffer roster from up north. Chandler Walker, Abby Peck. I said that yesterday, and they're both seniors. Abby Peck going to be staying down south a little bit because we talk about that job she got with Duke University Hospital. Incredible. Time you can land a job like that, especially out of college. Counts 2 balls, no strikes. This one hit opposite field, but it's foul. Abby Peck waves the bat in the air, awaiting the pitch from Dickinson. Here it comes. High and outside. Pfeiffer baseball is in action all weekend long. They got William Peace Pacers in the village of Meisenheimer. Dickinson comes set, swing and a miss. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And again, Mary Baldwin is going to get an opportunity in the top half of the fifth to extend the game a little bit further. Peck hits it opposite field. Carrie Villa makes an over-the-shoulder grab for the Fighting Squirrels. And that will complete the 4th inning. No runs by Pfeiffer the last 2. 9-0. Mary Baldwin needs at least 2 runs when we come back. Pfeiffer can end this in mercy rule again. Need 3 outs. They got a 9-run lead. Kennedy Lester has got it going right now. Again, we talk about it. 7 strikeouts in 4 innings of work. No walks. She's given up 3 hits. Again, as you look at the Mary Baldwin order, you're at Patty Pleasance, Blair Grice, and Talia Villa. That's 7, 8, 9 in their lineup. So you're at the bottom here. Pfeiffer's got a good opportunity to end this. 5. Mary Baldwin would have to score 2 runs to extend the game. 3-0 pitch. Fastball is in there. Called the strike. Lester again. This one tipped a special day here at Pfeiffer University, Senior Day at Pfeiffer.
We talked about it. We talked about it. We get to our seniors at some point in this broadcast.
And I think now would be a good time to do that here. 9-0 in the top of the fifth. As Lester misses Love. So you got a total of 6 seniors on this Pfeiffer team. Chandler Walker, Bailey Sherrill, Abby Peck, Stephanie Fortner, Amanda Sports, and Kennedy Lester, who's in the circle now. And again, they're going to honor them after the game. You see the bouquet of flowers. Some of the teammates going to get them out of the softball house that is behind center field. And those two have meant a lot. And again, a couple of these seniors, they were not necessarily recruited by this staff, but the staff certainly helped change the program where it was. 1-1 pitch on the way. 1-1 pitch on the way. Lester. And is fouled back to the screen. Lester again looks in. Peck gives the sign. Here's the wind-up to delivery. And she does it again. 8 strikeouts. For Kennedy Lester. And a good pitch to Blair Grice. Oh, excuse me, Talia Villa. They struck out 8 batters today, but I tell you, the majority of those have been looking as well. She is completely fooled several of these batters in this second game. I mentioned Kiana Millsaps did the same thing in the first game. Pfeiffer only gave up 4 combined hits yesterday. And a swing and a miss as Villa can't connect either. And Kennedy Lester has just been incredible. When you have 2 pitchers like Millsaps and Lester, it almost, in a sense, you don't need that third. They have gone probably more innings this year than they did last year because you had Sidney Poole that they could split the majority of the innings. But Monty Sherrill's going to make some changes here. Kenzie Swetnam is going to head out into left field for Stephanie Fortner. Taylor Jerome is going to check in for Chandler Walker. Crowd gives a round of applause for the senior Chandler Walker, who heads off the field. And what a career for Chandler. Breaking the hits record yesterday. Sarah Bowles is going to check in for Amanda Sport. She's also a senior, and this is kind of a special moment. You got an opportunity to pause the game and honor some of your seniors. And Lindsey Powell's going to replace Bailey Sherrill at first base. And there's Sarah Brown to replace Abby Peck at catcher. Pretty good little crowd on
Jack Ingram
Fields to honor these seniors today.
This game was from Saturday to Friday. I think
ideally you want that senior day to be on Saturday if you have the option, but either way, they're celebrating, and Carrie Westerbeek is going to replace Kennedy Lester in the circle. A special moment because a lot of these players for Pfeiffer, you look at Bailey Sherrill, Amanda Sports, they were teammates with some of these other girls that played at Alexander Central, and this is their last senior day of their softball career. They've been playing since they were younger together. And a special time. Again, our 6 seniors, Chandler Walker, Bailey Sherrill, Abby Peck, Stephanie Fortner, Amanda Sports, and Kennedy Lester. Pfeiffer will make the changes to the defensive alignment here at Jack Ingram Field. Next year's team's going to look totally different for Pfeiffer. We talked about that, but Monty Sherrill, again, and the way he has turned this program around since he's taken over the job. He's only in year 3. We'll have it rolling. Even with the seniors gone, but they certainly mean a lot. Pfeiffer team that was number 2 in the country, last year at one point, Division II. And they've continued to win some more here this year. Looking for 24 and 2, and they're 1 out away. There's 2 down. And Cody Oscar Taylor, the catcher, is left-handed hitter Carrie Westerbeek to try to shut the door. And burns it on the outer edge. A check swing as Taylor tried to slap it in play. Westerbeek again. Down and away. This game here has had good pace to it. And we got going. A little after 4 o'clock. It's 5:24 now. And a good pitch. Called strike. Can Carrie Westerbeek shut the door here? And this one down and away. Squared up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Starting to see some of the crowd file in for the baseball game later tonight. And the road that takes you right behind the softball field brings you to Joe Farabee Field, where that baseball game is going to be played. 3-game home series for Pfeiffer the next 3 days. We'll try and get as much on our network as possible. Again, tomorrow is very up in the air with whether or not they're going to play that game. It's looking doubtful as you look at the forecast. Heavy rain in the afternoon. I think the only shot they really have is if they move the game time up. But, again, this is a night game in Game 1, so they're probably looking more for baseball at maybe playing 2 games on Sunday. Full count, 2 outs. And Westerbeek hangs it up high, so game will go a little bit further. And this one grounded up the middle. Veda Blue Sherrill gloves it, and that will do it. Pfeiffer sweeps Mary Baldwin, and they are 24-2. Fighting Squirrels fall to 1-19 overall. Pfeiffer wins 9-1 and 9-0 in both of their games. Only one run has been allowed on this field the last 2 days in 4 games. Incredible showing by the Pfeiffer Falcons. As I mentioned, they continue to roll, and these seniors, they played a big part in this program the last several years, and especially all the wins that you tally up for Monty Sherrill's group since he's been here. And there's 6 seniors again. We're going to honor them again on air. Again, Chandler Walker, Abby Peck, Stephanie Amanda Sports, and Kennedy Lester. And those are your 6 that have really done an incredible job for Pfeiffer. And they've been a fun group to broadcast, I can say for myself, the last several years. And they've all got bright futures. So great showing by Pfeiffer. They win this one 9-0. Game 2 again. Kennedy Lester, an impressive showing. She only gives up 4 hits the last 2 days in the circle. 1 hit yesterday through 4 innings, and only 3 hits today through 4 and 2/3. So an impressive showing. Kiana Millsap, same thing in the first game. Pfeiffer takes care of business right here on the Pfeiffer Falcons Sports Network. They will be at home on Sunday to take on the Ferrum Panthers in a doubleheader series on Sunday afternoon. Pfeiffer baseball again tonight. Sunday scheduled to play William Peace, and it will be up in the air for tomorrow's game as to whether or not they get that or not. Men's lacrosse is also in action on Sunday night at NE Lefko Field as well. So a lot of things going on at Pfeiffer here this weekend. And spring sports are off to a really strong start as they move along in their conference slates. Again, Pfeiffer 24-2. I'm Kendall Lewis saying so long from Jack Ingram Field.